From our studio and office at the corner of 8th and Walton in Bentonville, Arkansas, welcome to Saturday Morning Meeting, brought to you in part by Dun & Bradstreet Credibility Corp., the leading provider of credit and credibility solutions for business. Saturday Morning Meeting covers Walmart, Sam's Club, and the consumer product companies that are represented on the racks and shelves throughout the country and around the world. Our focus is on the insights, trends, and best practices to help you as a supplier grow your business with the world's largest retailer. I'm Derek RIdenoure, and thank you for joining us. We will continue our discussion with Denise Natishan, Bill Sussman, and Fernando Salido about millennials, selling to them and working with them. And reviewing this week's top news stories with me are Rick Sauls and Colby Beland. But first, the headlines. Walmart announced the resignation of Joel Anderson, CEO of Walmart.com. He'll be replaced by Fernando Madeira, who until recently served as Walmart's CEO of Latin American e-commerce. The announcement comes on the heels of the shareholders meeting, during which new Walmart CEO Doug McMillon announced a commitment to improving customer service through technology. Reuters reports that Anderson has accepted the position of president at teen discount retailer Five Below. Now, while Walmart has generally avoided discounting gimmicks in favor of an everyday low pricing strategy, the company now plans to take its Savings Catcher program nationwide. As Ad Age notes, the program relies on competitors' own discounting programs and sales. When users of the Savings Catcher app find a lower price, Walmart refunds the difference onto a gift card. The program also allows Walmart to acquire important data about its customers, something that's increasingly a part of Walmart's business strategy. The recent Walmart shareholders meeting emphasized the importance of customer service, integrating physical stores with e-commerce and mobile technology, and as a continuing effort to improve the experience of working for Walmart. Plans are in place to offer associates more flexible schedules and concrete information on career development. Walmart's plan to source more American-made products has garnered positive media attention, but it is also running into some speed bumps. Reuters reports that U.S.-based companies are having difficulty reigniting manufacturing due to sourcing and workforce issues. Suppliers are scrambling to redevelop and reinvent manufacturing operations. In Europe, microchip-based credit cards are old hat, but Sam's Club is the first major U.S. retailer to issue them to its customers. Analysts suspect that the decision to adopt the more secure technology is a response to Target's recent massive data breach. Club members can apply for the new cards beginning June 23rd. On WalmartNewsNow.com, you'll find Walmart and Supplier news as is reported, all gathered together on one site. And we're joined now by our panel, Rick Sauls from Rockfish and Colby Beland from K-Stack. Welcome, guys. Good morning. Shareholders just wrapped up a week ago, but we're still seeing some things that came out of that and still making news and what Walmart's going to be doing going forward. Big focus is going to be on taking care of the customer. Rick, you came out of Walmart and now you're on the kind of the dark side here, but let's talk about what that means to really take care of the customer, because Walmart has kind of had a tarnished image over the last couple of years and how they deal with and take care of the customer.
Yeah, so I think Walmart's in the business of serving the customer, right? So as the customer's shopping habits change and as they evolve through mobile technology developments or social networking, Walmart's got to adapt and adjust to that as well. So those are the pieces they're doing. They're trying to move from a multi-channel experience to a seamless omni-channel experience. Doing a lot of things there through technology and through innovations.
And they're making some changes at .com. The head of .com was announced this week that he has left and that they've now bringing somebody else in. Colby, I'll come to you on this because this really changes in a way how .com runs now.
Very much so. A couple weeks ago I was on the show and we were talking about Doug's first 100 days, similar to being the President of the United States. Right. The changes that you make are kind of set his tone as the leader, and I think this is just one of those changes, and there's a lot of changes that are happening very fast, and this is just one of them to get the organization where it needs to go from a global perspective.
And bringing somebody in from Latin America who's been running the Latin American.com, I think we'll see how it goes. I'm not going to say it's a good move, bad move, but obviously Doug has some confidence in him, and I'm sure that Joel was probably asked to leave. We don't know that for sure, but just continue to make some changes to kind of drive that. Another thing that is kind of really making some news this week is Walmart's Savings Catcher. Rick, I want to come back to you on this. You're an IT guy and you're at Rockfish. Let's talk about how this changes everything for Walmart, or does it?
Yeah, I think it's game changing. You've got, with the promise of EDLP, with the goal of never being beat on price and being the top dog in retail and having all these people come at you with the high-low pricing game. It's almost impossible, right, to have EDLP and never be beat. This is an answer to that. It's a great innovative solution that will serve the customer on the back end after the shopping trip, as well as allow Walmart to build their customer database and help to serve those customers going in the future, whether it's recommending shopping list items or offerings through the data that they're gathering through that program.
And this is really different for Walmart because historically they've never done loyalty programs. They've always kind of been considered a gimmick. Kroger, on the other hand, is very involved with their loyalty program. I know Best Buy has one. Colby, does this change things for you as you see it?
Absolutely. I mean, to me, people talk about innovation all the time. This is innovation. This is real. This is something that will impact the consumer and Walmart for years to come. I think they're going to hit the millennial with this, and I think they're going to hit, baby boomers with it. Because personally, I don't clip coupons. Never clipped a coupon because I don't want to be seen in the store dealing with a bunch of coupons.
It's a hassle too as you go through and try to.
The brilliance of this is they're giving you the funds back in a Walmart gift card. So when you're at the cash register swiping it, nobody knows where that gift card came from or where that money came from. So I think it's going to be able to pull in lots of segments, lots of different buyers, and truly be a true loyalty program because all the work is being done, but it's using technology. I mean, this is brilliant.
Go ahead.
I think the other piece of that is you're instilling trust in the customer, right? So when Walmart says I've got everyday low price, I'm never going to beat on price, and I go to my competition who is playing that high-low game and is under me, this gives them the trust that after that shopping trip they're going to take care of me and I'm not going to be beat on price.
What'll be interesting to see though, as a supplier, are there going to be co-op dollars coming back to their suppliers? Because there are already times where as a supplier I get calls on why is Kroger cheaper or why did I see this in HEB cheaper than what I have it as. Oftentimes those retailers are going to take a margin hit or they've been sandbagging because they do the high-low game. What'll be interesting though is to see if Walmart wants to come back and try to co-op or get some of those dollars back from suppliers. I mean, it could be just a cost of business for Walmart. That's certainly what I, as a supplier, hope that they do. But it is certainly going to be a good deal for consumers to be able to go and do that. Do you think that they'll bring anything like e-coupons and e-values that Sam's has? Do you think that's in the works for Walmart? Just speculation here.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is a huge step to get them to a loyalty program, right? You're tracking that information, tracking that data, and I think that gets them there. They've been against the coupons and loyalty, so I think this is an avenue to get there.
Okay, we got 2 minutes here, so I want to move on just real quick to the Made in America initiative that Walmart has had. What we're finding now and really hearing about is that not every manufacturer's, that's not as easy as what we first thought it was going to be, and I think not as easy as what Walmart thought it was going to be, because they're really having trouble trying to get the manufacturing back, right, finding good people. Do you think they continue to struggle with this? And Colby, I'll come to you because you guys do a lot of shipping in internet or here in the U.S.
Well, it goes to as a U.S. economy for years, we spent all this time offshoring everything and moving everything offshore that a lot of the knowledge and skill set is gone, just the true manufacturing knowledge. So the challenge is it's the components that put all the product together and bringing that. So that customer base doesn't exist, or that supplier base doesn't exist today. So if you're an entrepreneur, I think there's opportunity here for you because if you're an entrepreneur with an engineering background, I think you can go to some of these manufacturers and what are you needing and develop a whole new business out of it. So I'm pretty excited about that. But this is a 10-year plan. Don't forget, this is a 10-year plan for Walmart. And we're just starting it. So they've got a conference scheduled in Denver coming up to try to bring these people together and educate them on what the needs are, what the challenges are, and hopefully, Walmart is a big stick, and hopefully this will drive the bus to help them achieve their 10-year plan.
Rick, final thoughts on that?
Yeah, just, again, it goes to show the impact that Walmart has, right? When they decide they're going to go this way, they move that way, and you see the constraints, and I'm sure they'll come together, like you said, at the summit here in a few weeks and come out there with some good solutions and answers. But it's exciting for sure, and will drive a lot of opportunity.
All right, we'll see what happens. Guys, thank you very much. Stay tuned, because when Saturday Morning Meeting comes back, we will continue our conversation about millennials and how do you sell to them, all coming up as Saturday Morning Meeting continues.
Bentonville Plaza, across the street from the Walmart home office. The best office location offers proximity and services like no other business complex in the area. Call 479-200-1112 today.
8th and Walton, the premier destination for Walmart Supplier education. When and where you want to learn. Current, accurate, relevant, taught by suppliers for suppliers. 8th and Walton.
Welcome back to Saturday Morning Meeting. Last week we began a conversation about millennials. We're going to continue that conversation today with our list of experts. Bill Sussman, CEO of Collective Bias, publisher of high-quality user-generated content that drives sales for brands and retailers. Also part of our panel is Denise Natishan. She is senior partner executive recruiter at Cameron Smith & Associates, recruiters for Walmart vendor jobs in Bentonville and beyond. And Fernando Salido, he is the vice president consumer and shopper marketing solutions at IRI Worldwide, providing information, analytics, and consulting to CPG and retail companies. Fernando offers up some fascinating data about where millennials shop. Here's the rest of our discussion.
So we did a study where we looked at where boomers and millennials are shopping to see where each over-index by different retailers. And it turns out all the traditional brick and mortars are heavily over-indexing with baby boomers, as suspected. And the only two brick and mortar stores that are performing okay with millennials are Target and actually Amazon. I called it a brick and mortar. It's not really a brick and mortar, but so that to me speaks to a couple things. One, with millennials, it speaks to the convenience that Amazon provides in being able to shop anytime and deliver to your home. But with Target, what's interesting about Target to me is it rings to that authenticity and being able to go after design at a lower price. I mentioned earlier that millennials do care about quality and they care about price. If you can somehow bring those two things together at a reasonable price, which is what Target's differentiated brand approach has been in the past,
and Target
it does resonate. Yeah.
And with their red card, they're really on par with
Interesting.
price.
I'm glad you brought that up because millennials, we talked about brand loyalty before. 94% of them use their loyalty cards when they have loyalty cards. So they actually do respond to loyalty cards. It's, again, another form of brand loyalty.
Which could be a
Retailer
disadvantage
loyalty.
for Walmart, who doesn't use this
Absolutely.
at all. Bill, I want to come to you now. What challenges do you see for brick and mortar retailers, specifically Walmart and Sam's Club, whenever millennials seem to be going to Target?
Well, I think the challenge for them is to show that group that they're going to be authentic, to what that group cares about, right? So some of the ways that you attract millennials are, you use their peer group to influence them, right? That's what blogging is all about. That's what my business is all about. Some of the other ways you try to reach them and influence them are about, millennials care about the celebrities that endorse those brands. They want to align with those celebrities' values. They want to be a little bit, they're aspirational. They want to be a little bit like those celebrities. So those are a couple of ways, and retailers really need to embrace that, and then they need to deliver on the promise of retail, right? If your promise is everyday low prices, you better deliver on that, because millennials are going to hold you accountable if you don't deliver. For Target, if it's more about design and aesthetic and excitement, you better deliver on that. So don't try to be something that you're not. They'll call you out on that pretty quickly.
Denise, you said last week when we talked that millennials are really concerned about improving not just their situation, but really the global situation and making a difference. Do you see an opportunity for brands to really partner with some big charities like Susan G. Komen or Wounded Warrior?
Excellent point, Derek. As soon as somebody from the millennial generation can see that there's a reason to buy that product that will make a difference in the world, they're going to be gravitating towards that quicker than they would for another brand. So if a brand is smart enough or a company smart enough to be able to partner and find a cause that's meaningful, like the Wounded Warriors or Susan B. Komen, then it's going to make a difference.
What about recycled? Because we see, particularly with Walmart, a lot of sustainability initiatives that are out there, and they're pushing to reduce packaging, go more to recycling. Does it make a really big difference to those consumers? Because I know in my own experience, it doesn't really matter to me. I want the best cost. But does it really make a difference to the millennials?
Absolutely. They're still looking to be able to, that's how they make a difference in the world. That's how they're going to make the world a better place, by looking at recycling, companies that are investing in that. So they're going to choose those products because of the instant research that they have as far as who's doing it and communicating that to each other. So they're going to gravitate to those companies as well, and to those brands.
Millennials very much care about societal impact, right? All causes, and they're not all passionate about the same cause. Again, it's a very diverse group that we're talking about. It's 80 million people. But if you can show as a company that you're authentic and you really believe in that and you're passionate, they will absolutely be more loyal to you, and you'll get real advocacy from that.
Do smaller format stores help? And Fernando, we'll come to you since this is kind of your area.
Absolutely. So if we just think about organic growth at the world's largest retailer, organic growth is really about driving traffic, conversion, and share of wallet to the store. We've been studying shopper deciles, which is a way of ranking Walmart shoppers by the highest spender to the lowest. And the top 30% of Walmart shoppers account for over 70% of Walmart sales. But even among that group, share of wallet, they only leave 50 cents of every dollar at Walmart, even now among the highest loyal shoppers. That speaks to small formats will deliver on the number one thing that consumers are looking for, be it millennials or anyone else, and that's convenience. Today, the trips that matter most for Walmart are small trips. They make up the vast majority of trips. And if you can divert those trips to small store formats, small format stores, you will actually start to see that organic growth improve, because you will capture more of those fill-in and small trips.
All right, we're gonna take a break. And when we come back, I wanna talk to you guys about what do these millennials like to work with, and what can companies expect when they bring them in. All of that coming up. The Saturday Morning Meeting continues.
GigWalk is an on-demand mobile workforce that can collect data and do work at retail. Businesses use GigWalk for retail audits, merchandising, and much more. With 350,000 smartphone-enabled workers available on demand, you get unprecedented speed and coverage across the U.S., Canada, and the U.K. And all work is reviewed for quality and accuracy. Visit gigwalk.com to learn more.
Every day, shoppers are bombarded with traditional brand messages outside the store in hopes that these marketing dollars will drive in-store sales. Closure Media drives retail sales by connecting brands with 95 million Walmart shoppers per year while they are in the store. Through innovative programs at Walmart's photo and money centers, Closure Media converts Walmart shoppers to purchasers of your brand. With reported redemption rates up to 7 times the national FSI average, Closure Media drives sales. For more info, visit us at closuremedia.com.
K-Stack, the leader in collaborative retail consolidation programs. We offer the supply chain expertise needed to navigate the challenges of selling products with the world's largest retailers. And we provide customers with a customizable, scalable, environmentally sustainable supply chain with the same advanced technology typically used by larger rivals. By leveling the playing field, K-Stack lowers distribution costs and increases overall margins. K-Stack, retail logistics is what we do.
I would recommend 8th & Walton to other suppliers because from my experience talking to other suppliers, they were even learning new ideas or just new and better business practices.
Most people have little time for training, and so 8th & Walton is a perfect opportunity to send your new employees to understand the retailing system. And again, because trainers were suppliers, they know the how and the why, so they become very valuable very quickly.
And welcome back to Saturday Morning Meeting. We're continuing our conversation with our panel. And Denise, I want to come to you because you're in the business of hiring people for companies. And as these millennials, some of them have already been in the workplace for a while, but what are their expectations, and how do those compare with how existing employers want to hire them?
Right. Well, I think there's a couple things, because it's important for employers to understand that we were talking earlier about their dreams and that they want to aspire to them. So a lot of times you'll see them as job hoppers, or they can appear as job hoppers because they're looking for that passion. So there might be an unrealistic expectation as far as an employer if they don't see a clean resume that's been 2 or 3 years. That's one thing that's really important. They communicate differently as far as their language has been texting and tweeting, and so used to so many characters. So there might be an opportunity there as far as an employer is concerned to be be able to talk through doing an email correctly. Things like flex hours, that's something that's going to be important. And so companies may have to adjust a little bit as far as that's concerned. And last but not least, even in terms of simple things like body piercings or body art, that's something that companies may have to adjust to, where it would have been totally faux pas in the past to be able to have or see in the workplace.
Now, you've seen millennials come in expecting, hey, I just got out of college.
Yeah.
Some cases I just got out of high school. I'm expecting to make six figures, $100,000 out of the gate.
Absolutely.
What do you tell them?
I mean, there are certain expectations that they do have, and you're right. I think that I'm seeing more of a trend that people want to have a high salary and expect a promotion right away. If I don't get my promotion in a year, then I'm going to move on. That's part of the challenge. And so I think that there has to be a constant education as far as this is what happens. There are bands within organizations. There are certain salary levels, and this is what you can expect. And you can't, it's a teachable moment then.
Bill?
Yeah, it's just a different way to manage, right? I spent a good part of my career at Walmart. I spent part of my career at Nickelodeon, and now I'm running a social media company where 80% of my workforce are millennials. So, too much information isn't in their vocabulary. Like, you just need to over-communicate. You need to communicate about everything, because they're constantly testing you to see, are you real? Are you authentic? Are you telling me the truth? Are you telling me everything? So that's what the expectation, and you have to deliver on that. And it makes it challenging because there aren't really boundaries anymore. There isn't work life versus home life. Everyone's connected all the time.
Is that problematic at work? Whenever you seem to know everything about everybody? Because I know there's some things you don't really want everybody to know about, but this group doesn't care, right?
Yeah, it is a little problematic at work, but as a leader of the organization, to think that expectation is going to change, I think is misleading. You have to adapt to them. They're not going to adapt to you on that. So you have to build your organization and be clear about the boundaries that you can set those expectations with them, and then over-communicate on the things that you can communicate about. And they appreciate that, right? I mean, they're okay with hearing no, but you have to tell them no about certain things.
Right, and they expect to be more of your friend too. They don't expect it to be that boss kind of relationship. So, and they don't turn off, as we were talking about earlier. So there's that constant interaction that they want to have with their employer.
I'll just mention a quick upside again with millennials is only 15% of millennials today are managers. So they still have a long way to go in their career, and only 1 in 10 makes $100,000 or more today. Again, this is a young generation. I do expect them to be the next great baby boomer generation in time, but they're still early in their life stage.
At the top end, they're under 40. At the top end, they're about 37, 38 years old.
At the top end, correct.
They're really just now coming into their career for many of them.
Exactly.
So since we don't have them really moving up, that certainly, I would almost think is a benefit to Walmart, because they are still lower income, but as we've talked about, not necessarily.
No. As I mentioned, 1 in 10 today is at 100,000, and they're still getting managerial experience. Again, I think we just have to think about that in 10 years, they will be 75% of the global workforce. What does that mean? What are the implications for all businesses around the world, international businesses, and how do you manage a very young workforce? For instance, the largest growing group in America are Hispanics, and over 70% of them are under 40. And they're the ones who are going to have larger households and children. How do you communicate to them? They're all so young. But again, just globally speaking, this is a young world in a sense, this generation that's being born. And by the way, Generation Z, if you will, the next generation, that's 75 million people too. So the way they're growing up, the things that they're seeing today, a millennial would have first discovered an iPod when they were 11, right? So today, when they're growing up, the connection, the global connection, the authenticity, the things that they care about, we have to think very differently about how to work and market to millennials.
Guys, thank you very much. We are out of time. Stay around, because Saturday Morning Meeting will continue right after this.
Imagine what it would be like if you knew the weather up to a year in advance. What would you do differently for your business or your life? At Weather Trends, we don't imagine it, we do it. We're a team of meteorologists, mathematicians, and business weather advisors, And we've spent the last 20 years developing a new way to forecast months in advance. We've been studying weather's effect on product sales based on every 1 degree change in temperature. We can now take your sales data and show you exactly how the weather impacts your business down to a single degree. We're leading the way into a new era in forecasting and a new power in business decisions. And we invite you to join us. Welcome to Weather Trends.
Bentonville Commerce, less than 1 mile from the Walmart home office. You'll love the convenience, amenities, and customized options Bentonville Commerce offers. For more information or a tour, call 479-200-1112 today.
It's time now for Retail Insights with Field Agent, and joining me is co-founder Henry Ho. Henry, thanks for joining us. Mobility is really changing everything that we know, and it's certainly changing the path to purchase, which is something you guys are certainly aware of. Let's talk about the path to purchase and how mobility is really transforming that.
The path of purchase is radically changed by the mobile device. And as researchers, we give an opportunity to our customers the ability to see within this path of purchase when they're either planning or researching a purchase to when they show up at the shelf or in front of the computer, or when they actually buy the product and experience the product at home. There are 3 major moments of truth involved: the 0 moment of truth, the first moment of truth, and the second moment of truth. As researchers, we get to see what exactly is going on in the shopper's experience through the mobile device. And that really brings the fresh insights and real-time insights into the shopping path to purchase process.
Now, the path to purchase really has become kind of blended and changed from probably what boomers did, which is sit at home, make a list, go through the pantry, go through the refrigerator. Millennials certainly have a whole different take on that, correct?
Yes. The whole path to purchase and these moments of truth and points of influence are being blended as we speak in society with the mobile device. You either are in front of the shelf and researching, or you may be at home researching. But the ability to understand that and influence that in the marketing plans for brands and retailers are transformed by the mobile device.
And you have a lot of great information. If somebody wants to learn more about the path to purchase and the way mobility is changing, how do they get a hold of you?
Just contact us, so we'd be glad to help them.
All right, Henry Ho, co-founder of Field Agent. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back.
Eighth and Walton, the premier destination for Walmart supplier education. When and where you want to learn. Current, accurate, relevant, taught by suppliers for suppliers. 8th and Walton.
Our thanks again to today's guests, and be sure to join us next week when Mike Grain will give us an in-depth tour of the new Crossmark Center for Collaboration in Bentonville. And if you missed any of last week's show, you can see it or record it early tomorrow morning. KNWA will be rerunning the show on Sunday, June 15th at 12:30. And of course, you can always watch it on our website at 8thandwalton.com. As always, we do appreciate you taking the time to join us. If you have questions or comments, we'd love to hear from you. I'm Derek RIdenoure, and from all of us at Saturday Morning Meeting, thanks for watching. We hope to see you next Saturday.